got some hate comments in YouTube, as happens. Okay. But we're talking about pre-existence, war in heaven or something, and we refer to Lucifer as an angel. Well, what does it mean if Lucifer is an angel? Well, according to Doctrine and Covenants, it means he's a resurrected personage that has a body of flesh and bones. Now, everyone listening say that doesn't sound right. We talk about Lucifer in the context of a spirit council, as spirit children. He clearly doesn't have a body now, which is obviously the case. So my whole point is, if you accept this as doctrine, that angels are resurrected personages, otherwise they're spirits, you got to go back and look at, we're looking at all these beings as resurrected personages that did at one point belong to this earth or lived a mortal life on this earth. So while it's true that Lucifer is a spirit, if you go back far enough in the eternal round, you might be able to gain some insight as to what did he pass through to become a participant in that council in heaven. What phases of the plan of salvation had he gone through at some past eternity to get there? What phases of glory did he pass through? And it's not just Lucifer. It's talking about all these angels that, like, did angels come and minister to Adam and Eve? Okay, well, give me some backstory on those angels, those resurrected personages. They must have belonged to this earth at some previous point. What does that mean about the creation? What does that mean about Adam and Eve's role? What does it mean about Michael as an archangel, a resurrected personage? Okay, like these. It seems very simple, these verses. Oh, angels and spirits. But when you start thinking about like what these literal definitions mean, it opens some doors that if you go through them, you can't walk back. You gotta just keep going forward and exploring and expanding the scope of the plan of salvation beyond just this little spirit world to resurrection, little plan of salvation that we teach in primary, to eternal round. Plan of salvation's happening over and over and over again on top of each other. I love it.
Yeah, the elementary explanation and description, the narrative that we tell broadly in the church, again, is not wrong. That's not the wrong narrative. It's just missing a whole lot of context, right? And there's very valid reasons to teach it that way, because some of these concepts and ideas are much more complicated. Although, let me say this, I do think it actually simplifies things once you have a better view of it. However, to get to that understanding, there's a lot of steps that have to be taken for one to understand and comprehend. And so you don't want to teach everything all at once, especially to like a new member. They have a hard enough time understanding Aaronic priesthood and Melchizedek priesthood, right? It would be difficult to then say, oh, by the way, we're going to teach you the eternal round so far as it's been revealed and we understand it, right? That's a very hard, very, very big leap.
Well, and there's certain understandings that you probably shouldn't talk about, even if they are true.
100%. No,
hit that like button, leave us a comment, subscribe to the channel. We really appreciate it.
They may seem like little things, but liking, commenting, it helps the algorithm push our content out to more people. So it's our small way of sharing the gospel in a social media age.